A brand new Titanic is about to set sail. After more than a century, billionaire Clive Palmer is rebuilding the world's most famous ship. And this time, it's unsinkable. For years, people thought it was just a wild idea. Palmer first announced Titanic II in 2012, promising it would launch by 2016. Then the delays started. The timeline moved to 2018, and many assumed the project would never happen. But now with construction set to begin in 2025, it's finally becoming a reality. So how close is this ship to the original? And will Titanic II be a dream come true or a disaster waiting to happen? Let's take a look inside Titanic's $1 billion resurrection to find out. At first glance, Titanic II looks like it just stepped out of a time machine. The sleek black hull, bright white superstructure, and deep red keel, it's an almost perfect copy of the original. At 883 feet long and 105 feet wide, it's nearly identical in size, capturing the same grand, awe-inspiring presence that made the Titanic legendary. But don't be fooled by the vintage look. Beneath the classic design is a ship packed with modern technology, making it stronger, safer, and way more reliable than the original. One of the biggest upgrades? How it's built. The original Titanic was put together with thousands of riveted steel plates, a construction method that, unfortunately, left weak spots all over the hull. When it smacked into that iceberg, those weak spots gave way like a house of cards. Titanic II won't have that problem. This time, the hull will be fully welded, making it way tougher, more flexible, and built to take on the ocean without breaking a sweat. No weak points, no cracks, just a solid, modern ship that won't fold under pressure. It's also a little wider than the original, measuring 32.2 meters across. That tiny bit of extra width is a game changer. It lowers the ship's center of gravity, improves balance, and makes Titanic II far more stable in rough seas. The first Titanic may have been sleek, but it was a little wobbly. This one? Rock solid. But let's take a step back. What kind of billionaire decides to resurrect a sunken legend? Enter Clive Palmer, a business mogul, politician, and man with a deep interest in the Titanic's history. Palmer is dead set on making Titanic II a reality. For the Australian billionaire, it's more than recreating history. It's about fulfilling a lifelong dream. Palmer has always been fascinated by the Titanic's legacy, and he sees Titanic II as a way to honor the past while embracing the future. Palmer's vision extends beyond building a ship. He wants to create an experience that transports passengers back to 1912, complete with period-accurate interiors, vintage entertainment, and even themed voyages. After years of delays and skepticism, Palmer is determined to prove the doubters wrong. With construction set to begin in 2025, he's confident that Titanic II will redefine luxury travel for a new generation. And it's this determination to blend history with innovation that drives every detail of Titanic II. Take, for example, the iconic funnels, 4 towering smokestacks that gave the original Titanic its legendary look. But here's the fun part. Titanic II only needs 1. The other 3? Purely for show. However, they're more than mere decorations. Inside, they'll be packed with modern tech, including radar, high-frequency communication systems, and even hidden observation decks. Passengers will actually get to stand inside the iconic funnels, looking out at the ocean from a spot once reserved for the ship's officers. The biggest upgrades? They're hiding beneath the surface. The original Titanic ran on coal, which meant a crew of exhausted stokers shoveling fuel into roaring boilers 24/7. Titanic II is ditching the coal and going full 21st century with a modern diesel-electric propulsion system. Translation? A ride that's smoother, quieter, and way more fuel efficient. No thick clouds of smoke, no endless piles of coal, just a high-tech, eco-friendly engine that gets the job done without the mess. And when it comes to steering, Titanic II is leaving the past in the dust. The original ship had a single massive rudder and twin propellers, which made it about as nimble as a brick in the water. This time around, the ship will be fitted with 3 azimuth thrusters and rotating propellers that give it pinpoint control. These high-tech thrusters make docking a breeze, improve stability, and let the ship glide through rough waters like a pro. So, where will Titanic II sail? The ship is planned to follow the original Titanic's route, traveling from Southampton to New York, with stops in Cherbourg and Queenstown. But this time, the journey will be about more than just crossing the Atlantic. It's about reliving history in style. Passengers can expect themed voyages, complete with period costumes, vintage entertainment, and gourmet meals inspired by the Edwardian era. Whether it's a luxury cruise or a historical adventure, Titanic II promises an experience like no other. And it's not only the journey that's designed to transport passengers back in time. The ship's interiors are a full-blown time machine. Step on board and you're instantly transported to 1912. From the elegant ballrooms to the lavish dining halls, every inch of this ship is designed to recreate the grandeur of the original. But while it looks like a floating museum, it's built with modern comfort in mind. The grand staircase? Yes, that grand staircase is back in all its glory. With its polished mahogany, ornate railings, and stunning glass dome, it's set to be the heart of first-class life once again. The first-class dining saloon is just as impressive, spanning the width of the ship with carved ceilings, gleaming chandeliers, and handcrafted tables. And the menu? It's straight out of 1912, with gourmet dishes inspired by what the Edwardian elite once dined on. For those looking for something more relaxed, the Café Parisien is making a comeback. Once a hidden gem on the original Titanic, this charming French-style cafe will once again serve up fresh pastries, tea, and light meals in a cozy, sunlit space with stunning ocean views. Titanic II's first-class cabins are the definition of old-world luxury. Think gilded mirrors, rich mahogany paneling, and vintage furnishings that make you feel like you've stepped into a classic film. But don't worry, this time around, comfort comes first. Unlike in 1912, these suites will have discreet modern perks, air conditioning, en-suite bathrooms, and even Wi-Fi. It's all the charm of the past with none of the hassle, so you can enjoy the vintage vibe without feeling like you're actually stuck in 1912. For those wanting the real Titanic experience, third-class cabins will take passengers straight into the world of 1912 steerage, minus the rough parts. The bunk beds, wooden furnishings, and communal layout will be nearly identical to the original, recreating the feel of the journey that thousands of immigrants once took across the Atlantic. But let's be real, no one wants to time travel all the way back. The biggest upgrade? Private bathrooms. No more overcrowded, not-so-sanitary communal restrooms. Each cabin will have its own modern facilities, designed to blend in seamlessly with the ship's historic look. And if you've ever wondered what steerage smelled like back in the day, let's just say, you're better off not knowing. Even entertainment is getting a historical upgrade. In 1912, steerage passengers made their own fun, dancing, playing music, and swapping stories. That tradition is making a comeback, with social spaces designed for live music, gatherings, and even an onboard theater, showing classic films and vintage-style performances. Titanic II isn't just bringing back history, it's fixing everything that went wrong the first time. The original ship was built with safety standards that were basically non-existent by today's measures. Weak bulkheads, a chaotic evacuation plan, and a laughable number of lifeboats turned an accident into one of the deadliest disasters at sea. This time, things are different. Titanic II is packed with modern safety tech, making sure that history doesn't repeat itself. The biggest fix? Lifeboats. The first Titanic had only enough for about half the people on board. Titanic II won't make that mistake. It'll have fully enclosed all-weather lifeboats for everyone. No scrambling, no guessing who gets a seat. And for a faster escape, the ship will also have a high-tech marine evacuation system with inflatable rafts and rapid deployment slides, getting people off the ship in minutes. Fire safety? That's getting a massive upgrade too. The original Titanic was basically a floating tinderbox, packed with flammable materials and barely any fire suppression systems. Titanic II will still have that vintage 1912 charm, but the elegant wood paneling and classic decor, all fire-resistant. But the biggest safety upgrade? Communication. Back in 1912, Titanic's distress calls went unanswered for hours. Outdated technology, bad timing, and straight-up miscommunication left passengers stranded. That won't happen this time. Titanic II will be equipped with a global maritime distress and safety system, ensuring instant contact with rescue teams worldwide. Do you think Titanic II will actually set sail? Or is this just another overhyped project that will never leave the dock? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating engineering and construction projects.